All right, are we live? Are we live? All right, good evening, folks. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, NNB people of 1978. Today we are in the capital of Kampala today, which is actually under siege by the Tanzanians. Now, what you must know, in 1971 or 1970, the president Milton Obote was actually overthrown by Idi Amin. Now, Idi Amin has had a lot of controversies, but has actually had some tea with the Queen. Now that tea time may be his last time, as today the Tanzanians under Julius N. Nyerere are actually into the capital and trying to get almost to Idi Amin. We have heard reports that Ashley, the president aide of Amin, has actually fled or has not fled, but Idi Amin has fled. Now we have gone around the country of 1978 and we have seen the build-up, and today are the final climactic days. Nothing like the Reichstag of 1945 or the D-Day landings of World War II or even the Ethiopian campaign of World War II itself or Vonleto Vorvex East Africa. You kind of get the idea, but still a watershed moment in African history where not really a dictator versus dictator, but an African socialist versus an African that doesn't really look towards the West that fondly, go head to head. I hope we don't see this again, but we have heard reports from socialist Ethiopia and socialist Somalia that they're actually having some troop buildup in the Ogaden region. So hopefully nothing will come of that and Somalia won't be devastated into a civil war. But these two African countries, separated by colonialism, are going at it again. Nairobi, Kenya, the 27th of November, 1978. But because so in the latest twist of the 4-week border conflict between Uganda and Tanzania, and prepare for the special Uganda said today that the Tanzanian troops had captured the border town of Mutukala and were invading the country from the East Africa. Anyway, Robert Astos, a British-born aide to President Idi Amin, said by the telephone from the Ugandan capital of Kampala that the invading forces, consisting of thousands of troops from Tanzania, had crossed the border at 3 a.m. after heavy bombardment and artillery fire. He also added that the mechanized brigades had advanced 20 miles inside of the country, towards the important town of Masaka, on the main road towards the capital of Kampala, and they love their ears in Uganda. The broadcast drew no immediate response from Tanzania, where the government under Julius Nyerere and the government-controlled news organization had recently actually ramped up and really tempered a campaign of vilification against President Idi Amin, and said that Tanzania had no intentions of invading Uganda, but to restore peace in Uganda. Just yesterday, the Sunday News carried out an editorial asserting that Tanzania would not interfere in the internal affairs of its neighbors. We must guard against our nationalism being turned into chauvinism, prompting the violation of principles which we are fighting to uphold, the editorial said. Fighting said to be in Tanzania, but mostly Uganda. Tanzania had insisted in its most recent communiques of the war that whatever fighting was going on was taking place inside of Tanzania itself. A government report yesterday said that the clashes had occurred the day before in Mizuru and the Mizuru Forest and near Mutukala, south of the border. The conflict between the two East African nations began on the 30th of October 1978, when Uganda sent 3,000 troops into Kariga and the Kariga Salient, a 700 square kilometer strip in northern Tanzania and of northern Tanzania. The move, most analysts believe, was primarily designed to crush dissent and dissidents in Uganda's armed forces by uniting them in what the diplomats term a phony war, especially with the King's Army, which is famous for Kony 2012. The Ugandans claim to have withdrawn from the Tanzania salient, but the Tanzanians say that they have repelled the invaders and are actually going on the offensive. The region of the fighting, which is gently rolling hills with rocks outcropping and lush valleys and villages west of Lake Victoria, is remote and cut from the normal communications of modern African urban life. So independent observers had difficulty of really asserting and assessing the situation and what is actually going on inside the forces and the waterfall of Lake Victoria. Yeah, there's actually a waterfall there as well. Uganda claims that it was being invaded and was undercut by its broadcast of two similar claims on the government radio in the weeks before the fighting. Both were widely believed to have been fictitious, especially from Amin. Simple standing and watching of the fighting. Today, Mr. Astos, President Amin's aide, said that Ugandan defense forces were not engaging the Tanzanian forces, but were simply standing back and watching. The Tanzanians, he said, had transported tanks and artillery across the border. Uganda also asserted that the Tanzanians were accompanied by 500 mercenaries, a charge that struck many analysts as dubious at best and maybe fictitious at worst, or maybe it's the AU or the African Union troops. President Amin, concerned about the buildup of thousands of Tanzanian soldiers on the border area, has warned that he will face real fire and be taught a lesson that will never be forgotten and taught a lesson they will never forget if they attempt to move north and invade the country. President Julius K. Nyerere of Tanzania, who toured the front lines yesterday, is thought to have been something of a quandary. While he has now appeared as an injured party in the eyes of the most other African nations, he stands to lose their support if he sends his forces into Uganda. Such a course, however, would be popular at home, where stories of atrocities by Uganda in the Kagera region have whipped up a public sentiment to the point where they actually demand President Amin's overthrow and Nyerere to do something. Tanzania has strong steel girders across the damaged bridge that spans the Kagera River, the southernmost point of Uganda's invasion, which makes it more newsable and more stable. Journalists who saw the bridge before the repairs, however, doubts that it is strong enough to carry heavy tanks and even some artillery pieces. And with that, coming from you live in Lake Victoria. I know it doesn't sound like a lake, it sounds like a very quiet bedroom, but trust me, we're in here, we're looking now. We see some Tanzanian troops actually coming down the road from Wait. Alright. I don't want to break character just yet. I'm still in the newsroom, but Mutukala. Yeah, they're... Anyway, the producer has just left the studio. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. Another hit, another classic, I know. So pretty much, there's some good news, some bad news for you people, if you really love my content, but it's for the best, and I'll be back. And plus, we still got a month, but Monday or Tuesday, I will finalize and I will tell you the update, but until then, you'll have to wait. More than likely, I will try Monday, and if they say Tuesday, it's Tuesday. But if you've been a long time at this channel, if you're Frozen Marmot, if you're Chris, what was his name on Origins again? But you know who you guys are. My Balls Deep crew. You know who you guys are. And one girly thing. But anyway, seriously, with that being said, I do hope you enjoyed. I do hope you learned something. It has been pretty good. It's been a good run. We'll still do videos until the last time. And even the night before, we'll do a farewell and a little reminiscing. Not sure if I could play a game, but probably get the best clips together. I'll probably make a clip show and a farewell. Not like forever, but a farewell where you won't really see constant videos. Probably if I sneak away into the mess zone, but you know how we do it. If it's a permanent thing, we do like half a year where we're the best of the best, and we don't really dip from the best of the best, but we kind of slide into that. Okay, I'm the best when I'm at work, when I clock out, that is it. Which you should do, but anyway, until Monday or Tuesday. Wednesday the most, you will see an update. Wednesday for sure. Anyway, with that being said, I do hope you enjoyed from the ENN network. And until next time, from the capital of Uganda, Kampala, we will see what Julius Nyerere does. We already kind of brought character, but at this point, I'm just so excited, man. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, ladies, gentlemen, and MB. And until next time, learn something. And stay safe, of course. But most importantly, we came here to learn something.